And today we're going to be talking about starting seeds for spring plantings.
Start with a good quality potting soil such as ProMix.
The important part here is that you have good soil to seed contact, and we're going to be looking at some seeds in a couple moments, but I'm going to be using this tray to grow them in. They're also commonly available. We call this one 128, and it's based on the number of cells that the tray has.
Fill an empty tray with soil.
One of the things that I'm doing is I'm not pushing down on the tray. I don't want to make the soil tight. I just want to make it so that it's full. And so once I get all the cells full, I run my hand across the top, clean off all the outside stuff, and this tray is pretty much ready for planting.
Use another tray to push down the soil and create indentations.
This is about 1/4 inch deep, and this is ideal for starting tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, and even cucumbers. Now that we've filled this, now we're all ready to start putting seeds in.
The size of a seed relates to how deep you should plant it.
This is a squash seed, and these are relatively large. While you can start these indoors, most people just choose to put them in the garden. They germinate very, very quickly. You only need about 3 or 4 weeks of planting before you would put out a large plant. Right next to this is cucumber, and you can direct plant these or start them in cells, and they only take about 4 weeks to finish. And over here, this is a grape tomato. Tomatoes take 6 to 8 weeks, and I strongly recommend that you don't plant tomatoes directly in the soil outside. And lastly, we've got a very small seeded, this is amaranth, and these you barely sprinkle on the surface. So that flat that we filled earlier, I would probably not push it nearly so hard.
Always follow the instructions on the back of the seed packet.
So we've got our flat all ready. It's filled with soil. We have it packed down a little bit. We're going to start some tomatoes.
Place one seed in the middle of each cell. Cover the cells with potting soil and brush off the excess.
And this is ready to water down. The important thing here when you're working with a potting soil that's made up largely of peat moss is it doesn't water very quickly, so you've got to stay on it, and one of the most important things you can do is weigh it. So if you feel how empty it is now and how light it is when it's done, it should feel rather substantially wet from your soaking it down. So we're going to move over now to some growing plants so you can have an idea of what that'll look like. Okay, so what you're looking at here, this is a fully seeded flat. We have germination, and what you're looking at is you can see the cotyledons. Cotyledons are the first seed leaves that come up. They're actually on the seed itself, but they expand. This is a flat of bell peppers. This is for one of our Penn State research trials, and you can see they're substantially further along. Now we're starting to get our true leaves as they emerge. We've actually started fertilizing these. They look really excellent at this point. Now you start looking at, you're weighing it almost every day because these start using a lot of water. I like growing them in here in the greenhouse because we have so much sun, and that's one of the things at home you really need to be careful of is, do you have enough light? If you're going to grow at home, growing on a windowsill is really tough. You just don't get enough light. I would recommend fluorescent light bulbs, and you want the fluorescent lights right, literally almost on top, 2 inches over top of your seedlings. Run them for about 18 hours a day, and you don't need to buy fancy grow lights. If you buy daylight bulbs, they work very well. And we'll grow these on until they get about yay tall, about 6 inches tall, and then we'll pot them up into bigger pots before we move them out to the field. Always be sure to tag stuff as you go. Once you start getting 6, 8, 10 different things growing, you will not remember what you seeded into the flats. The last part of success here, and we consider it the most important part, is this is a heat mat that we put them on top of, and with a thermostat that's right behind me here, we control this heat mat to 77 degrees. This gets us this incredibly even germination of seeds. Any homeowner can buy this stuff online, and if you go online and just put germination propagation mats or germination heat mats, you'll come upon this. So the combination of good even heat from the bottom, keeping them watered evenly throughout the whole germination process. Never let them dry out. You'll kill the seed. A little bit of fertilizer once you get to the first true leaf, and we're now fertilizing a couple times a week. You will have such success with germinating your own seeds, you'll wonder why you never did it before.